Hoopinghoops.com. If you like the content, subscribe and don't forget to let me know. I must admit, I'm happy the Celtics took game one against the Warriors because I predicted they would win the series. It means they get closer to winning that 4 games. However, I did not expect them to win game one before the game started. I thought the Warriors would take their first home game and the Celtics would have to go back, watch film, make adjustments, and get ready for game two. Game two is the one I thought the Celtics would have won. But things went pretty good for the Celtics in that game one, and especially in the fourth quarter. And of course, we know how the game ended. Before the game, I pointed out a couple things, and we'll see if it continues to hold true. The Celtics' ability to guard the perimeter and the struggles of the Warriors players when they are defended well and physical. I drew reference in relation to that um, in connection to the Memphis series, but there may be more going on other than what I initially thought, and we'll talk about that in a moment. In the first quarter, we saw the Celtics were slow to get to Steph Curry, and he burned them for that. But you had to be thinking, as well as Steph Curry shot the ball, why was he up only 4 points at the end of the first quarter? From then on, we saw Boston pick up, their defense, and they played some pretty good defense for the rest of the game. But this is the other thing I'm referring to. Golden State players seems to be tired as the game progressed. The Warriors usually are the team that wears him down with their motion offense, such that you may have a lead, and in the second half they run you down. But the Celtics defense, the Warriors have to put an extra effort, run a little harder, to get those shots off. That may be a little taxing on them, especially if they didn't come prepared for it. The Celtics is a good defensive team, obviously, with length and young, energetic legs. I had to put the energetic in there because, you know, you may be young, but if you're not putting in the defensive effort, then, you know, it, your defense is not going to be as good. But looking at the game, Golden State won the first quarter. The Celtics came back and won the second. After the break, the Warriors won the third quarter and went into the fourth leading by 14 points. The Celtics won the fourth, going 17-0 with some over 8 minutes or so. And, you know, they did it somewhat by wearing down the Warriors. Now, persons could point to the Warriors' defensive strategy as well as the Celtics just getting hot and not just simply, they being worn down. But sometimes your defense and your offense is a result of the amount of energy you have left in the tank. Now, I'm not only saying that because the Celtics won the second and the fourth quarter. After the first quarter was ending, even when it ended, you could see some of Golden State Warriors players, they had their hands on their knees. And that usually is an indication that you're getting tired. What I think is the Warriors did not anticipate the amount of effort they had to expend in that first game. So they came out, thinking or based on the analysis of the games they played in the Western Conference. They looked at the amount of effort they put out, and they're thinking, yeah, probably something serious, maybe not similar. Not They do not have all that much extra effort to put out, but you know now they know what to expect. I think for game two, they will come out with a better effort or better prepared to put out that extra effort. You see, I'm not one of those who's going to just say after game one, the series is over. But when you look at game one, Jason Tatum had a bad game. Not overall because he had 13 assists, but offensively, he went 3 for 17. And, you know, he could do better. But you look at persons like Al Horford, who had a career night in threes and ended the night with 26 points. Jalen Brown had 24 points. White had 21. Smart had 18, I believe. Um, Boston is not likely to get those kind of contributions too often. Oh, and don't forget, um, for an extended period in the fourth, Smart was on the bench. When he came back, it was instant offense. And of course, remember, that big free and so forth. I don't know how much better, it could have gone for Boston in that fourth. They won the quarter by 24 points. Now, Jason Tatum in game two will make up for some of the drop off, but he will not make up for the full potential of what they're likely to drop off by. So the Warriors could feel good about themselves knowing that the Celtics may not be as good offensively. Of course, the Celtics could start the game better on the defensive end. So I know the Warriors are a veteran team and they've been there before. But this is the one thing I will caution that if they come out in game two looking to blow out the Celtics and early, trying to make a statement instead of just playing their game, they may end up with a similar result to what happened in game one. And, they may end up going into Boston down two. So they will have to be careful how they approach the game. Of course, overall, I expect it to be a long series. So we will see how the Warriors respond. Hoopinghoops.com.